Learn English with your Instill.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English stories. Fluency in English is something many people want. I remember when I was a young student like you, I wanted to speak English well. I wanted to be fluent, but I was shy and made many mistakes. One day, a teacher said to me, "You can be fluent if you practice every day." This sentence changed my life. When you want something, you must work for it. Fluency does not come in one day. Today you will learn through a story how you can prove yourself that you can also learn English. It is like planting a tree. You put the seed in the ground, water it, and give it sunshine. Every day, you care for it, and then one day, the tree grows big and strong. The same is true for fluency. One day, a student came to me. She was very sad. She said, "Teacher, I want to speak English, but I always forget the words." I smiled and said, "Do not worry. Fluency is not about remembering all the words. It is about practice." She looked at me with hope in her eyes. Many people who are learning English face a common challenge. They can understand the language well and know many words, but when it's time to speak, they forget the words they want to use. This can be very frustrating, especially if you feel like you know what you want to say, but the right word just doesn't come to mind. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. This issue happens to a lot of English learners, and it can happen for many reasons. But don't worry, there are ways to overcome this problem. I want to speak English, but I always forget the words I need. Every time I try to speak, I feel like I know what I want to say, but the words just don't come to me. It's really frustrating because I have learned so many words in English, but when it's time to use them, they seem to disappear from my mind. Sometimes I feel embarrassed because I can't find the right word, and it makes me nervous to speak in English. Even though I practice by reading books, listening to English songs, and watching movies in English, I still forget words when I'm talking. I know this is a normal part of learning a language, but it still makes me feel like I'm not improving fast enough. I try not to let it stop me, but it can be hard to keep going when I can't remember the words I need. I hope with more practice, I can get better at remembering the words and become more confident in speaking English without feeling scared of forgetting. In this video, we will explore why you forget words when speaking English, what factors contribute to this, and how you can improve your speaking skills so that you can speak more confidently and remember the words you want to use. Why do I forget words when speaking English? 1. Lack of practice. One of the most common reasons why people forget words when speaking English is simply because they don't practice enough. When you don't use a language regularly, it's easy for words to fade from your memory. Language is a skill, and like any skill, it needs practice to stay sharp. If you don't use certain words often, your brain may not recall them when you need them. 2. Stress or nervousness. Another reason people forget words while speaking English is because of stress or nervousness. Speaking in a second language can be intimidating, and the pressure to speak perfectly can make it harder to focus on the words you're trying to remember. When you're nervous, your brain becomes distracted, and it may block out the words you want to say. 3. Language interference. If you're fluent in your native language, sometimes your brain gets confused between your first language and English. This is known as language interference. Your brain may try to find the word in your native language, and when you can't remember it in English, it feels like you've forgotten the word. This is especially common for words that have no direct translation or for complex sentence structures. 4. Limited vocabulary. Sometimes, forgetting words happens because your vocabulary is not large enough yet. If you're still learning the language, you may not know all the words you need to express yourself fully. This can make it harder to say what you want, and your brain might struggle to find the right word in English. 5. Poor word association. When learning a new language, one of the keys to remembering words is creating strong associations. If you don't associate new words with images, feelings, or situations, your brain might struggle to recall them when needed. Without these associations, words can become harder to remember. 6. Mental fatigue. Learning a language is a mental challenge, and it takes a lot of energy. If you've been studying or practicing for a long time without rest, your brain can become tired. When your brain is fatigued, it's harder to access information, including the words you want to use. This might cause you to forget words during conversations. In conclusion, forgetting words while speaking English is a common challenge for many learners, and it can feel discouraging at times. However, it's important to remember that language learning is a gradual process, and everyone faces this struggle at some point. The key is to keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and not let the fear of making mistakes stop you. Over time, with more practice and exposure, remembering words will become easier, and speaking in English will feel more natural. So, even when I forget a word, I'll try to stay positive and keep improving, knowing that progress is made little by little.
Thanks for watching. Do like the video, share this to your friend, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.